Hey guys, and welcome to another quick video about the character modeling tutorial project that I'm going to start working on in the next month, maybe. So we talked about the character design in the last video, and I've wanted to give you an update on how things are looking at the moment. So I received lots of drawings and ideas from you guys, and they were really interesting. There were some really cool ideas in there, very creative ones, and I really enjoyed it, but one thing that I realized was that it wouldn't be easy to combine all of those ideas, or no, let me say actually, what I realized was that it wouldn't be possible to use one idea as it is for various reasons. Either there's some certain things, for example, that I want to demonstrate during the tutorial, which weren't there in most of the designs and things like that. So I knew that I had to either make changes or draw a new one. So what I decided to do in the end is to just combine all the ideas that I received and basically create a new character with those features. So for example, I noticed that most of you kind of went into a science fiction modern kind of direction with their design. It looked a bit like a character from a very digital age. Of course, there were some 2 or 3 from a completely different category, but yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't bring anything in here. But instead of by the way, let me introduce quickly. The image you can see here is what I managed to do so far. It's still work in progress. I want to on the one hand add more things, on the other hand improve some areas, and feel free to give your feedback as well. Tell me which part you think looks good, and maybe if there's something you don't like at all, feel free to tell me about that as well. But actually in this video I would like to talk a little bit about character design. So it's not going to be just an update, it will be so you'll be able to learn something from here on. So what I wanted to talk about is during the design process of a character, what dimensions to think about, how should I describe it? Well, there are lots of things in a drawing. On the one hand you have the color, right? By that I mean basically this first parameter here on the color picker, if you want. And the other thing is the value, which is basically the bright and dark difference. So if you were to turn them black and white, you can see that we have really bright areas, such as here. We have normal areas and really dark ones. That's the other dimension, I call it. And then finally, we also have two more that are not so obvious. One of them would be detail. So it's not about, well, let's say detail over a certain area. So for example, here the arm is really not detailed at all, while the face and maybe this area here, as well as not yet, but I guess this leg would be more detailed as well. Or you kind of get it, like wherever there are some shapes in an area, this area can be called detailed, while again the arm, or maybe here this area on the leg or the boots at the moment are not detailed so much. And for all of these contrasts that I said so far, you got to consider the balance between them. So let's start again with at the beginning with, let's start with value, because it's the easiest to show you. So basically the eye doesn't really like it if it's 50-50. So here in this case, most of the character is bright, but we have some spots that should really catch the eye that are dark on purpose, were dark, and the balance should be, I think, has to be distributed in the right way. I'm not sure if I managed to do it really good, but you see that the character is brighter on the top. Look at the thumbnail, for example. If you just look at this here, the face is the brightest spot, because this is where the eye wants to look, first of all because of the content, and then again also because of the values which make the eye look at it. You realize actually it is not the brightest spot in terms of really value, you see, because this is really bright compared to this, but because everything plays together with the light and with the surrounding areas, even though this is the brightest spot, well, like bright areas kind of come together here, so I feel like this works better. For color, I mean, I'm really not an artist who draws pictures every day, so I can only repeat a few things that I learned. But I like to keep my colors really close to each other. For example, I decided to go with blue hair and white grayish clothes, and even for the but still, because I have this red blue main color palette, everything kind of gets a tint of that, even though it's not completely logically to make something that color. But imagine this was just completely gray as I thought of it first. I will just quickly select this part and turn it gray. That would look really boring. So giving things a little bit of the color that surrounds it is usually a good idea, and then there's also something called color contrast that, well, I tried finding out more about it, but I just know what it is, but I don't really know how to explain the correct use, but it's at least a dimension to think again about, and if you're interested, I suggest researching more about it, because there's lots of information out there, like which color, how many colors you should use, how distant the colors are from each other, and things like that. But again, you got to think about the positioning of them. Again, the blue being on top as the only blue here, again attracts the eye, because compared to it, the rest is quite reddish and like this pink or violet or something like that. So these are again tools to make the eye look at things you want it to look at, and also to make everything feel right and such. Oh, and one final one final thing to consider that I just remembered was the shape of everything. This is now my own theory, but I believe that the design of clothes should, if it's not just a plain cloth, it should it should support the shapes of the body, the anatomical shapes. I don't mean try to trace every single muscle in your body and things like that, but let's take a look at this design here and see why, and let's try to find some explanations why I chose these shapes when thinking about anatomy. So I think here it is very clear that these lines and also this dark area here, they follow the bones that are underneath that structure. Then also the same thing here. If you look at the hip, it really follows the same angles and the same shape that you would expect in this area, as well as here this area. If you were to connect these down here, you'd get a loop that is also there if you look at the body. And well, it just continues on and on the same way. Whatever you look at, you kind of have a relation to the body, and that's why I think the design really supports that kind of thing. So I've talked a lot now about things. I hope it was interesting for you. Maybe you could learn something. And even if what I'm saying is not 100% correct, what's important is just that you're aware of these kind of rules existing, that these are the things that usually artists think about when they draw a character or design something. And if you're serious about designing things and drawing characters, I really think you should think about it and try learning more. So as for the project to finish this video, I'm going to continue working on it, hopefully with your feedback, and maybe you have some great ideas how to improve it. I would like to look for it. Otherwise, thanks a lot for your ideas and everything. If some more ideas will arrive, I will take a look gladly and see if there's anything I can do. But most likely things are going to continue the way they're here, hopefully getting even better. And well, hopefully next week I'll post another video about what I was able to improve. And soon we should be able to start with the series. Okay, thanks so much for watching as always, and see you next time.